Today we're going to analyze the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem in the framework of medieval art and architecture. A key takeaway is that the Dome of the Rock is the earliest Islamic building to survive in its original form. So it gives us a glimpse into artistic and political messaging from only decades after the life of the Prophet Muhammad. Inscriptions on the building date its construction to 692 CE. In the Islamic calendar system, that date is the year 72. The Umayyad Caliph Abd al-Malik ordered it built on the Haram al-Sharif, called the Temple Mount in the Judaic tradition. It's an elevated limestone platform, sacred to three of the world's major monotheistic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Mosaics from the time it was built still decorate the arcade level and inside the drum below the dome. Byzantine mosaic artists were hired to decorate this early mosque, and some of the imagery is from a visual vocabulary shared with early Byzantine mosaics, not surprisingly. Acanthus scrolls and vines, garlands, vases, and trophies adorned with jewels of the defeated. These motifs may have symbolized paradise to the original viewers, but may also have possessed triumphalist associations proclaiming this new faith. The gorgeous mosaics from the Dome of the Rock in turn may have inspired the mosaics that adorned another Umayyad building, the mosque in Damascus, completed in 715. The Dome of the Rock's 7th century core design is an octagon capped with a central dome. Earlier centralized baptistry buildings, as well as other Christian shrines, maybe inspired this design. In the region, the building type was used for communal Christian spaces, such as the centralized martyrium building in Jerusalem called the Chapel of St. Mary from the 5th century. But there's another local parallel that probably exerted even more influence. For in early Islamic Jerusalem, the most celebrated martyrium was the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built in the 4th century by Constantine the Great. It's another domed, centralized building, also raised over a rock. The almost exact correspondence within 40 millimeters or less than 2 inches between the dome diameters of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and the Dome of the Rock suggests that the Dome of the Rock's proportions were intended, in this respect at least, to match the earlier Christian building. The Umayyad building's dome was clearly constructed with care. It has a double shell of wood plated with metal. It reached 35 meters above the ground and is thought to have originally possessed a gold and green mosaic design. The inscriptions on the Dome of the Rock are especially important because they're actually the earliest dated Quranic fragments that survive. While the Dome of the Rock's inscription sent a religious and political message to three faiths, the 7th century inscription does seem particularly targeted at Christians, for it proclaims the oneness of God, a tacit rebuttal of the Christian Trinity, I would guess, and attacks the notion that God could even have a son. Yet the inscriptions don't mention at all what in many ways is the most striking feature when you visit the building: the imposing rock at the heart of the building's interior, 18 by 13 meters. The rock is traditionally identified as the site of Adam's creation, as well as of Abraham's intended sacrifice of Isaac. Within Islam, from at least the 9th century, this same rock is associated with Muhammad's ascent on his miraculous night journey from Mecca to Jerusalem and back. Being such an important building on such a venerated site, it continued to be repurposed and embellished over the centuries. During the medieval crusading movement, it was reconsecrated as a Christian church. And with quite a bit of historical creativity, the Crusaders imagined this 7th century mosque was actually Solomon's temple. I don't think so. The screen between the columns you see in this early photograph was installed by the Crusaders, but it's now been removed in restoration. After the Crusaders' defeat, the rededication of the building back into a mosque was, needless to say, a highly charged medieval political event. The exterior tilework is from the mid-16th century, ordered by the Ottoman Suleiman the Magnificent as part of his patronage embellishing the holy cities of Islam. Although now quite restored, the Ottoman tiles survive to this day. In the 20th century alone, 6 major restoration campaigns took place, with Saudi Arabia and Jordan, for example, coming together to contribute 80 kilograms of gold that now encase the dome. So the building remains a potent symbol in the contemporary political landscape, along with the Al-Aqsa Mosque, built later in the same sacred precinct. This site is even today honored as the third most holy Islamic place after Mecca and Medina.